So before we get into this video, if you guys want to check out my link tree down below, you can. Check it out down in the description below. You can also buy our new feature film vignettes on Gumroad. Pay whatever you want for you to enjoy. It would help out a lot. So thank you. We're going to talk about Anemone today. Now, this is the new film that stars Daniel Day-Lewis and Sean Penn, and it's directed by Daniel Day-Lewis's son, Ronan Day-Lewis, I think. Yeah. I've heard people complain about the nepotism involved in this film. Basically, Daniel Day-Lewis's son making it, him coming out of retirement for his son. Chill out. Everybody just needs to calm down. If it wasn't for that quote-unquote nepotism, we probably wouldn't have got a film made like this. This film is, for better or worse, I have never seen a film like this before. And I didn't really have many expectations going into the film whenever I first saw the teaser trailers. Like when I saw the teaser trailers, I saw good cinematography. Daniel Day-Lewis. Yeah, he's always great. And Sean Penn. So I really just knew that it was going to be a movie with great performances. I knew it was going to be a visually stunning film, but I wasn't exactly sure where the film was going to take me. Now, I think that it would be completely inappropriate to not talk about Samantha Morton because she is fantastic in this film. She's fantastic in everything that I have seen her in. She is a phenomenal actress. She's terrific. She's terrific in this. She does such a great job of showing emotion on her face, and it's just so, I don't know, you see it and it feels real, and it's just, it's so good. It's so good, and she can hold her own with some of these greats. I mean, I thought she was fantastic in The Whale, and she's also going to be in The Odyssey. I'm not sure exactly what her role is in The Odyssey. And then, of course, The Walking Dead. But she is fantastic. So I just wanted to give a huge shout out to her because we will be talking about Daniel Day-Lewis a lot in this because it is his movie. He does steal every single scene that he's in, and that's kind of just Daniel Day-Lewis. Now, granted, this film is catered more so towards a Daniel Day-Lewis performance, and especially considering that he helped write it, but even though I'm sure that these scenes were constructed for him to steal the show unintentionally, he still just does it because he's that damn good. Now, Sean Penn is also really good, and he holds his own with Daniel Day-Lewis. And that's the thing. I remember with There Will Be Blood, everybody that really talks about that film, especially performance-wise, talks about how Paul Dano was able to hold his own with Daniel Day-Lewis. And it is very much, I think, a huge compliment when it comes to that because I can't imagine that that's an easy feat, especially whenever, they're the lead character. Anemone is about two estranged brothers who meet up at a cabin. More so, one estranged brother meets up at a cabin with his other estranged brother. They're talking about their time in the war, specifically Daniel Day-Lewis. And then outside of this cabin, we get to see what's going on with their family, specifically a son and a mother. This is a very abstract film. Whenever I was watching it, as soon as it came on, it reminded me something in vein of something like Andrzej Zvygenstev's Loveless. Felt like that, maybe even The Banishment. Or you look at something from Tarkovsky or something. It is very slow. It is a slow-paced film. And it doesn't necessarily hold your hand. You don't exactly know where you're going. You're just basically driving on this road blind, and you're going to get to the destination. You don't know what bumps you're going to hit. You don't even know if you're going to wreck on the way to the destination. You're just kind of there. But I will say this is a minor spoiler. It's not a plot spoiler. It's just a music spoiler. So if you want to go in completely blind, might want to, fast forward a little bit. When I was watching this, and it felt like I was watching something from like Zvygenstev or something, and then I hear Solitude from Black Sabbath, and Daniel Day-Lewis slowly turning his head towards the camera. Yeah, dude, I need more of that. I need a lot more of that. That was chef's kiss. But there's a lot of interpretation to go with this film. It's a very subjective film. Now, the cinematography is amazing. The cinematography is beautiful. I just love. There's one specific scene where they're at the beach and they're talking. And here's the thing: Ronan Day-Lewis, he's not scared to hold the camera for 10 minutes while Daniel Day-Lewis is talking. He's not scared to just hold on a shot for a long time. This film is not a very cutty film. It's a very just kind of mellow. You just kind of flow down the river with it, and that's kind of what I'm glad it was like that because. I mean, obviously I don't want every film to be like that, but it is nice to have films like that. And it's also nice to have films like that whenever you don't know a film's going to be like that. So you sit in the theater and you're like, oh, hey, this film's like that. It's very well executed. Very well executed. Now, I will say my biggest critique on this film is how subjective it is. There's not really a clear direction on where we're going. There doesn't need to be. There doesn't need to be. But when I think of other abstract films that are like this, and I'm not going to name off the films specifically because I don't want to make any comparisons, but when you're watching, like, okay, well, I will make one, The Wanting Mayor, for instance. The Wanting Mayor is kind of the same way, where I didn't really know where I was going. I liked where I was going, but I didn't know where I was going. But I do think that when you're spending your whole runtime doing something like that, it does help to kind of give a little bit of exposition to sort of say, hey, this is kind of what we're going for. Stick around with it. But with Anemone, I really was just sitting there just like, okay, we are going to get to this destination, and I have no idea how we're going to get there. Just being honest. For some people might like that, and that's cool. And I do believe that we need films like this, but I do think for a general audience, like, here's the thing. When I say that, there's no problem with it. There's no problem whatsoever. If the film wants to be that, the film can be that. There's no issue there. But the problem is if you want the general audience to watch the film, this will not be a general audience friendly film. I was actually the only person in my theater that watched this. So, yeah. But also Brad Pitt executive produced it. That man's always executive producing stuff. But yeah, it's an interesting film. I'm excited to see what Ronan Day Lewis I'm excited to see what Ronan Day Lewis does next. I do really enjoy Anemone. I liked it. It's not my favorite film of the year. It's one of those films that I think I could get a little bit more out of whenever I rewatch it again. But it was pretty good. It was solid. It was beautiful. It was thought-provoking. The performances were great. I think that it is a pretty dang good film. I know it's not getting the best reviews, but I just think that those reviews are just people that just don't understand. And that's fine. You don't have to understand it, and it's not your fault if you don't. But that's the type of film that Anemone is. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a thumbs up and maybe subscribe. Check out vignettes down below on Gumroad. You can also watch it on YouTube. But if you want to own it, you want to pay what you want, go ahead and do that. Take it easy, guys. Later.
How many people have to go missing before law enforcement gets their heads out their asses? How many? Let me ask you something. Do you lose sleep? I mean, do you lay awake at night thinking about everything that goes on in the world around you? To anyone listening right now, we don't need a sheriff that hides behind curtains. We need someone who has a family of their own. Someone who has something to lose, not someone who can lose everything and still live the same life they've been living all these years. Until the monster that's taken everything we love, that's put this town that we've all grown up in despair, until he's caught, you may as well be the monster yourself.